All right, we're back. Thank you to the people who subscribed after the last video. It was very cathartic for me to get a lot of the feelings of this Mets season off my chest, and I appreciate the people that seem to enjoy that type of video. Today's video is unfortunately going to be a little bit more negative, if you can even imagine, because we are talking about three players that need to be off the team when the Mets go into the 2026 season. Now, there is a chance these guys are controversial takes. I don't know exactly where everybody stands here, but been a Mets fan for a long time, and it just sort of feels like this team needs not a full teardown, but they need a shakeup. The core of the team, while it is very talented, has not really produced much over the last few years, and it seems like this team could use a slight reset. Obviously, we are not getting rid of guys like Lindor, Soto, Nolan McLean, any of that, right? Three guys that I think need to be off the team. The first one, and I'm getting this guy out of the way right now because I think it might be the most controversial of the three that I have decided on, Kodai Senga. I am done with Kodai Senga. He is an incredibly talented pitcher, but enough. This guy, if the wind blows the wrong way, he's out for 2 months. If he wakes up and he didn't have his morning coffee, he's out for a week and a half. There have been injuries that, look, are not his fault. It's not his fault that Pete Alonso doesn't know how to throw to first base. Just, if you've ever seen Pete Alonso try to throw, he looks like somebody who has no idea how to throw a baseball. And he has injured Kodai Senga, I think, twice now. I could be wrong. I think he's injured him like both times. But the setbacks, this guy has such a thing with his body. It reminds me of DeGrom, where it just felt like if he was not 100%, like literally, Kodai could be 99%, he's not going to be out there. We do not have time. We do not have time anymore for people like this. We do not have time for players like this. And I think the Mets have been doing a little too much of this, like babying some of these guys, and not necessarily babying them in the like overly, caring way, but just more like you gotta just rip the Band-Aid off at some point if it's not working. We saw David Stearns go out there and basically say like, hey, we can't count on Senga for 30 starts. If that does not signal to you that this guy is on the trading block, I don't know what will. The Mets have, I think, like 2 more years left of Senga. He's not 25, this is a Yamamoto. So it's hard to imagine him getting that much better from what we've seen. And this past year, he was good for a couple of months, and then he got hurt, and then he was bad the rest of the year. So bad that when it mattered most, they kept him in the minor leagues. That tells me everything I need to know. We don't need any more minor league pitchers on this Mets team. We had enough guys getting shuttled back and forth all season between AA, AAA, and the Major League roster, getting picked off the scrap heap. We don't need any more of them. Kodai Senga, if he's not contributing in the way we need him to contribute, which is not as a number 5, not as a swingman in the bullpen, we needed him to be like a 3 at minimum, hopefully a 2. We were, really praying for an ace, but let's just be honest, that's not who he is. And I think going into 2026, maybe it seems a little crazy to want to trade one of the starting pitchers, but let's be real. He's not that good. He was not that good. Last season is an understatement. He was horrifically bad. And he was bad in the minors as well. So I don't know how this gets right for Senga, but it can't be on the Mets. Rip the Band-Aid off. Get him out of here. Let's move on from Kodai Senga. Number 2, and this pains me because I am a big fan of this player, but Mark Vientos. It's over, man. We saw Vientos struggle a lot this season, and he got hot for 1 month in August. He was one of the best players in baseball for 1 month. But again, the Mets going into next year, we don't have time for guys like this anymore. Mark Vientos is a DH. At absolute best, he is a DH. There is nowhere in the field that you can put Mark Vientos to hide him, and his bat is not consistent enough to be a major league bat in the lineup every single day. Cannot, for the life of me, understand how he ever saw third base time this season. There were so many times where he made dumb errors where you thought, experiment's over. This guy can't play third base, can't put him in the field. And he kept getting opportunities, and he kept just kicking the ball all over the place, throwing it all over the place. And he was not nearly a good enough hitter to make up for any of that. Last year, Vientos was money. Swaggy V, this guy was an absolute stud in the playoffs. He was a killer. I think the Mets have too many infielders already. We have enough third basemen, second baseman, potential shortstops. Mark Vientos, I think he can be good. I think he can be good on another team, but I think it's a team that either has to give him starting third base job and just let it ride no matter what, or a team that is going to put him at DH and just leave him there. The Mets jerking this guy around all year. He's a third baseman. He's a DH. He's on the bench for weeks at a time, and then he's off the bench. Beatty played really well. I think, again, the Mets got to start ripping the Band-Aids off, right? Just cut it. We've been hearing about the Beatty, Vientos, Mauricio thing for like 3 or 4 years. Beatty played well. He I think, has always had the higher upside than Vientos. Give him the job and just run with it. And if it doesn't work from there, then we'll figure out what to do with Beatty. But this back and forth thing where neither guy is really ever the starter just isn't working. It's not working for anyone. I think Vientos deserves to just go to a team that will let him play. Maybe he figures it out in the long run. I have no idea. Stranger things have happened, right? Adolis Garcia, Randy Arozarena. There's plenty of history of guys not getting a shot on one team and then picking it up on another team. But for all parties involved, I think the Mets need to move on from the Mark Vientos experience. I will miss him, but I think he does have some value, and I think the Mets need to look at the trade market if they want to improve this team going into next year. And Vientos just cannot be part of the roster in 2026. A final guy on my list, and again, this does pain me because I'm a Mets fan. I love all these guys. Jeff McNeil has gotta go. This guy, when he came back earlier this year, was a certified vibes killer. And I think anyone that's been following this team since McNeil's been on it, there is a bit of a rumor just behind the scenes that when the going's good, McNeil is the most fun guy to be around. But when he's in a slump, when things are going rough, this guy is a nightmare to have on your team. And Jeff McNeil is not a good enough hitter in any category, whether it's average, power, whatever, to justify keeping him on this team, even if it is just for the sake of shaking up the clubhouse, because the Mets have had the same core for a while, whether it's Alonso, Nimmo, McNeil, Lindor now has been like on the team for 5 years. Something's got to change. I think that Jeff McNeil, again, the Mets don't have room for guys like this anymore. He can't play center field. He was okay, I guess, in center field. But again, the Mets defense overall was just so bad this year that, like, you can't have Juan Soto in right, Nimmo in left, and McNeil in center. That is an embarrassingly terrible outfield defense. I think that McNeil does maybe still have some value, although he's making a little bit of money now, so I'm not really sure where other teams are going to value him per se, but he can't play second base and he can play corner outfield. So there's definitely some value there. But I don't know if Jeff McNeil is a starter anymore. He's like 33, 34 years old, so he's getting a little bit older now. And like I said with Senga, he's not going to get better. Jeff McNeil is on the decline. And I think while he still is a talented player, he's not good enough at any one category where if you're starting him every day, you're not getting 30 home runs. You're not getting a guy who hits 300. You're just getting like a platoon utility bat that can maybe hit you 10 home runs, but he'll go into these slumps for like 6-7 weeks. And it just, I think, has a negative effect on everybody else on the roster. It just seems like the Mets have sort of a finite number of ways they can shake up this core outside of just completely trading everybody. I think that if you want to kind of just change the vibes up a little bit in that clubhouse, McNeil sticks out as a guy that I think has got to go. And while he did come back this season, and initially he was really, really good, he disappeared at the end of the year. He's getting older. And again, I think the Mets, they got to just pull the plug on some of these experiments, right? McNeil's been on the team for like 6 years now. It's time to just let these things wind down. The only way I see him staying on the team is if he is fully a bench bat, and only plays like once or twice a week, comes up as a pinch hitter sort of thing. But you're paying the guy $15 million a year now for the next couple seasons. I don't think you really want him to just be a pinch hitter and come off the bench for, 40, 50 games. I think the Mets are well within their right to move on from Jeff McNeil. I think McNeil, if he wants to continue getting more playing time, probably going to have to be elsewhere, because it's hard to imagine the 2026 Mets being successful with Jeff McNeil getting regular playing time. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I am excited to see what this team looks like in 2026, and I got nothing against any of these guys personally, right? I'm a fan. I love all these guys. I'm sure they're all phenomenal human beings. The core of this team has to change a little bit. You can't have a season like the Mets just had and run it back with the same squad. You got to shift things. You got to move things around a little bit. And I think getting these three guys off the team, bringing in some fresh faces, some new vibes, could benefit the team a lot in the long run going into 2026. So thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Let's go Mets.